or Todd. I'm here with Todd of Appalachian History Detectives. That's his YouTube channel. I'll put a link somewhere. And we're doing an investigation, as you like to say, of this home site here in this community. Now, there's a bunch of newer houses around. This was actually, you're saying it was a freedman's community. Yes, so slaves that were freed during or immediately after the Civil War, and they settled in this area right here. Got a house here, got some other things going on in the woods we might explore a little bit later. But it's just I think it's just a unique opportunity to see what's here, see what did they have? What did these people have? This wasn't lived in. I mean, no one lives here now. This belongs to another house down there. It hasn't been lived in for a while, so it ought to be fun. One thing I do want to point out, which I think is kind of interesting, is the owner of this property was saying that back when the old folks were still around, that they used to make pilgrimages to this house because they remember their grandparents living here and stuff like that. And one of the things they told the owner was, see these flowers back here? These are daffodils that are coming up. You notice they're in little clumps along the edge of the property. And what they told the owner is that's where they buried their babies, the little ones that didn't make it. They buried them right along the edge here and put flowers over their graves. And that's going to be lost to history. Would be, except now there's going to be 2 videos out there, hopefully forever, that tells that story.
That's right.
So that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep that history alive and find some cool stuff too. What do you say?
Yeah,
I've talked way too much. Half the time you talked, half the time
I'm not talking now.
you're a talker. All right, let's grab the machines and get digging, see what we can find here. All right, so let me just show you real quick what I'm using today. A very scratched up and battered Garrett AT Max. I'm going to go with the 0 program, 0 discrimination, maximum sensitivity. Got plenty of batteries. We'll try to ground balance. I think this is going to be really junky here, but it may not be. Let's listen to the ground and see what it sounds like as far as targets. Okay, that's not a bad sound target. Ooh, lots of stuff in the ground here. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I don't want to listen to all that right here. So I'm going to go ahead and bump the discrimination up to, let's just hit 26. Nah, 27 is a better number. And that's what we're going to detect with. You see it's going to quiet it down a lot. And what I'm going to do, starting anyway, I'm going to go ahead and dig a lot of those lower numbers, like the 50s, which could very well be pull tabs and things like that in aluminum. And if there's a lot of that, then we'll start only digging like stuff in the 70s and above, which would be like coins and small brass things. I'm going to dig up something, see what it is. All right, so here's what we have. I got 3 targets out of the ground. And we're going to look at them together. I can actually already see all 3. I haven't picked them up yet. But let's take a look here. This is my first target right in the high 50s, 60s. And I saw something here. All right, pull tab. Now, I was really worried there's going to be a lot of pull tabs, and there are. So the 50s, 60s. Okay, this was the second target. This was in the 60s. If you look here, you can see the outline of a mason jar lid. Well, that's the actual zinc part of the mason jar. You can see the cap there, the porcelain cap. I'll fill these in a minute. Well, I'll just fill this one right now. This is what we did. We fill them in like that and stomp on them. That's good enough. All right. This one, I think, is going to be a coin because I can see the outline of it right there, and I can see a coin right there. Looks like it's probably just a penny, but let's hope it's at least a wheat penny. Get some age on it. Now, interesting thing about that is, yeah, it's a wheaty look. Awesome. Now, the thing about wheat pennies is that the other coinage at the time they were making wheat pennies, like the dimes and the quarters and the half dollars and the dollars, were silver. So if we can find some other coinage like that, hopefully it'll be silver. So I think it's definitely worth checking this house a little bit closer. We may have to start cherry picking though, because there's a lot of this stuff and a lot of this stuff. All right, let's do some live digs. All right, so I have a couple targets marked that we're going to dig. 3 targets. The first one was over here. See that little divot? We'll dig that together. It's reading 71, 72, so that could be something decent. I had another one over here. That sounded pretty good. What's this? Oh, that sounds much better. That's probably a coin, I would think. All right, we'll come back to that. And another one by my shovel. That's a nice high, kind of the same type of signals. That's probably the same type of target. And I would imagine a coin. Now there's something off to the side too. It's not quite as high, but that's a good one right there. Let's start with that one. All right. Should be right in there. Hopefully in that pile right there. There it is. What is it? Whatever it is right in here. Let's break this in half. What is it? Oh yes, it's a coin. Lucky. That's another wheat penny. That was going to be an Indian head, but it isn't. Oh, the other one was a 1951, by the way. Yeah, all right. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. Put this whole back together. Let's go check out the next one. There we go. Well, let's go ahead and pinpoint this. All right, so it's right there. And I have a smaller knife we can use. Not a good plug knife, but we might, since everything seems to be pretty shallow, maybe we can just pull it out just like that. There it is. What is it? It's probably, yeah, it's another wheat penny. Or is that an Indian? Is that an Indian head? I think it is. No, it's a wheat penny. Okay, 2 wheat pennies. Let's go to the next one. Fill that in a minute. And that's the other one. Okay. Let's just pinpoint this one too. We don't have to, probably don't have to dig a plug, really. This one's a little deeper. I'm not really hearing it very well. Okay, this one's a little deeper, but might be able to just pry it out like that. All right, almost there. There we go. Deeper. You know what? I should be really careful about the broken glass in here. There's going to be some broken glass in here. I'm digging around the edges of where I think the target is. I should have gotten the shovel on this one. I'll get this. I'll do the shovel when I can't hear it with a pinpointer next time. All right. All right, should be in here. Well, that's another target. All right, so oh, it's another coin. 2 coins. It's a hoard. It's a hoard of wheat pennies. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. These are the 2 wheat pennies I just found over there. I set them on the ground beside me. Oh, what a moron. All right. Let's see what's in the hole. I can't believe I did that. Yeah, it's still in there. It's probably going to be like a lid or something. I think what I'll do is get my shovel and finish this one off. Yeah, let me go ahead and get my shovel and I'll show you what it is. Okay, so this is what was in the hole, and it looks just like a, it's like a copper lid off or something. It's not a terribly great find, but that could have been an eagle breastplate. Well, it's got a design on it. This might be some type of compact, I guess. Huh, that's kind of cool. All right, let's keep at it. There's a little signal right here. I'm not sure if it's going to be a coin, but I thought we'd just go ahead and dig it together. I should have showed you what it was on the machine, but I wasn't even going to turn the camera on, to be honest with you. All right, so it's right there. Should be able to just, maybe I'll just get it with this real quick. There it is. Yeah, okay. Ah, it's a harmonica reed. All right, so that was like in the mid-60s, and it just wasn't quite high enough or small enough for a coin. But still a pretty cool little find. Got one more target over here that I have marked. Let's go look at it. Okay, get the pin pointer out. It might be a little bit deeper than the other ones. So we're not really hearing it, are we? This is a It was really good sounding, but it's actually zinc. So this is going to be something that's pretty junky, because zinc was a very inexpensive material to manufacture with. So that's a piece of junk. This is a pretty interesting little target here. I was a little skeptical of the signal, but I went ahead and dug it. But I think it's going to be part of like a pot or something, or a pan, you know, a skillet. Nice old cast iron skillet, perhaps. Cool beans. Probably cook some beans in that. So while I have you here, and you're somewhat of a captive audience, I want to show you something interesting. This is the back of the house right here, a shed right here. From the back of the house, you come out, and guess what? This is where they put the outhouses. Now, this outhouse here is actually fairly new. The guy that owns the property built that not too long ago. This is an older one that may or may not have been in use. I'm assuming it has. But look at right there. Does you see that depression? That's another outhouse. So there's 1, 2, 3, and that's often what they would do in these old places. Is they would go along and they'd, you know, dig a hole, have an outhouse. When it filled up, cover it over, move over a few feet, and dig another one. So when you have these old places like this, there could be lines and lines of outhouses. Now sometimes they'd come around and they'd dip the stuff out of there, and they call those people honey dippers. There were people that would actually do that and take the waste. And of course that was a great fertilizer, because back in the day, 100 years ago, fertilizer, 150 years ago, fertilizer was very expensive and hard to come by. Of course, now we make it out of chemicals in the laboratory, so it's no problem. But the honey dippers would come around to your house and scoop it out for you. But I guess if there were none in the neighborhood, you just keep building outhouses. Let's take a look at this one. I don't know if I want to go in this one or not. It's closed. Let's see what this one looks like. Sorry about the wind noises. Okay, yeah, it actually has a rock that is been pushed up probably from the frost. I can't really even open it, so we're not going to worry about that. That has tar paper on the outside. That's why it's in such good shape, I guess. But yeah, there you go. Nice fresh outhouse. This is going to have a pit under it, just like that hole right there. And this is something I hadn't really seen very often, but this is a vent. It goes all the way through, and there's a pipe that goes down into the outhouse, so it helps vent it and keep the odors down. Of course, that keeps the flies from being able to get in there. That may or may not be of interest to dig someday. I don't know. I decided to go ahead and get the probe. I'm just going to probe down in there and see if I hear any bottles breaking or anything like that. And if so, we'll come back and dig that another day. Basically, I'm just going to take the probe, go right down the middle, and just listen and feel for glass. See if they filled it in with trash. Lots of crunchies. Ooh, it goes down deep. It's probably the bottom right there. Lots of little crunchies though, so there could be trash in there. Oh, nice and black. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. Now what I'm going to do is, if you look at this probe, it's got like a little head on it with a shelf, and that catches the dirt. So you go down a certain depth, and then you stop and bring it back up, and you'll get a sample of the dirt right at that depth. So I'm going to go down about 1.5 feet where the crunchies are, right there, and see if that's just rocks or some kind of, I know it's going to be hard for you to see. You can see just black dirt. I'm not seeing any broken glass or pottery. Let's do one more just for the heck of it. It might just be rocks I'm hearing and feeling. That's a rock. All right. Well, we don't want to go down a little bit, pull it up and go back down again, because you'll catch a sample wherever you pulled it up at. All right. Go down to that depth. Now when we pull it up, that's where the sample will come from. Let's see what we got. Again, nice black rich dirt, full of poo, but no broken glass. We'll save that for Todd. So I looked around the outhouses in between them and the house, and there's so much junk I kind of gave up. There's a lot of like pie plates and stuff that actually sound pretty good. One reason you might want to dig out a privy like that is because when they were getting ready to abandon it and put a new one in, they would just throw all the trash in there. So there could be bottles in there from, if they abandoned that in 1900, it'd be full of bottles from 1900 right there. But I got a couple good signals marked. I got one there, and there's a couple things right in there. go ahead and dig those 3 targets up, see what we have. If there's anything good, we'll concentrate here. If there's just junk, we'll keep moving on. All right, so I got the target out of the hole. It's much larger than I thought it was going to be. Oh, what is it? It's copper. I'm not sure what that is. It's not any type of like brooch or anything, a woman's brooch. I'm looking at this this rim right here that goes around. It looks almost like a US belt buckle without the lead in the back, but I'm seeing no signs of lead in the back. Let's try this next one. There's a bunch of signals in here, but I think the one we want, they're all over the place, isn't it? Yeah, see, it's deep, so it's probably not junk. Oh yeah, see a mason jar lid. See the mason jar stuff coming out of there? It's gonna be a mason jar lid, I can already tell you that. Yeah, there it is. All right, mason jar lid. I do want to check the hole just in case it was a mason jar full of coins. Nope, no signals. A nice chunk of melted lead right there. Now that could be from a lead solder in the house or just somebody working out here, but it's got a good patina on it. Interesting. A nice screamer of a signal here, and I dug it up, and it's a gun. Could be a toy gun though, probably is, but that's the hand grip. A toy pistol anyway. Yeah, it's made out of zinc. Yeah, that's junk.
Stop. I mean,
what you get?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Can I see it?
Yeah.
Looks like a big old. Why don't you clean it?
Yeah, I know it's muddy, isn't it? Yeah. I need pants like.
It kind of like reminds me of a like a World War II era or World War I era eagle butt.
I mean, it's. I can see a pattern on there, but I don't know. I think it's got to be cleaned up a little better.
Yeah. Huh. That's good fun, oh man. Awesome.
Yeah, that's good fun.
I have a signal out of the ground over here. Ah, there it is, right there. And I can hear it squeak. So it looks like another penny. Is it? Oh, that's just a memorial sitting right there. This is going to be not as old as me. That's a shame. It's a big old disc of some kind. What is it? Oh, okay. That's where all the gears would be attached. It's really heavy, though. Could be some type of clock, too. See the greenery starting to come out on the trees already. It's going to be an early spring. Got a nice little chirp in here. I'm hoping it's going to be a coin. We'll find out together. Well, oh no. I don't think it's going to be a coin, is it? Aluminum. Or gold. Is it gold? Look. Gold colored, but it's really light, so I know it's aluminum. So that's the house up there on the hill. We kind of moved away from there because we weren't really finding anything too old. And there's a couple old, there's a rock pile here, and the owner was telling us there used to be a cabin over there. Kind of look through the bushes there, you can see those are cars, but the roof and stuff is still kind of on it, so it's not that old. But we saw this rock pile, so we thought we'd dig around it a little bit. And so far I have this thing here, which is some type of rivety thing, and then a fired mortar and bullet. Not really finding a whole lot. Don't know if that's a chimney pile or just a pile of rock. I don't have high hopes at this point though. All right, so bebopped around for a good while. Have not found anything of interest. You find anything, Todd? Not really?
Not of anything good.
Yeah. This is my last and final target right here. I don't know if I can dig anymore. Here. And it looks like a lid off of, well, who knows. But anyway, it's kind of a cool spot because it's like a car graveyard. Let's take a look at it. What do you think? That's a pretty old thing over there. What's that thing? It's a hornet. Yeah, unfortunately, this place is just too much junk. It's not quite old enough. But I'm going to tell you, look at more cars down here. I'm going to tell you something. On the slope below the house, and that's the house up there where we're looking around where those cars are. That looks like something out of From Dusk to Dawn right there. All the cars pushed over the edge. But anyway, on the slope over there, I could see a lot of broken glass. So maybe, whoa, almost lost it there. That's awesome. A bunch of them up there too. Probably should look through the seats. Pulling up on. This is a mess, huh? Yeah, I saw a lot of sparklies up there. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera off, hike up on that slope, see if there's anything there. That's the house right up on the hill there. And these are the sparklies I could see from that field over there, where I found nothing. Blue mason bottles, mason jars. Not a bad sign, but not a great sign. Yeah, it just doesn't look old enough, does it? A little bit of enamel wear over there. Yeah. Not worth digging, my friends. Clorox bottles. Just not old enough. I think 4 holes at the back. Let me use that for target practice. So this area right here is kind of like the last hurrah for the property. And if we can't do it here, we're not going to do it. So I just dug this. I was a little bit hopeful. Springfield? No. I don't know what that is. Kind of a modernish looking thing. Yeah, a little bit of iron in here, so I'm not giving up yet. We have to detect from here up to that building, and then we're done. Got a nice little squeaker-rooney here, and it's out of the hole. Is that it? Is that a bullet? All right, what do we have? We have a lid, or a some type of lid spouty thing to something. Something really heavy though. It's surprising. I'm gonna say that's it almost feels like lead. Huh, that's pretty interesting. I'm not sure what that goes to. Next one's gonna be a giant silver coin. Now this one gave a really nice high squeak, and I see something here. Can't tell what it is. Oh, it's really big, unfortunately. Hold on. A little knife out. I don't think it's gonna be anything any good, but part of a car or something, probably. What do you think? What is it? Yep, no clue. All right, have a nice little signal somewhere in here. I'm hoping it's a coin, but no, it's not a coin. I'm not sure what it is, actually. It is a doodad. Yeah, I don't know. It's nice heavy copper, though. Copper or brass. Okay, beautiful signal. Not sure about that one. All right, so we are getting ready to wrap this hunt up. Unfortunately, we didn't do really well here, but we kind of suspected we wouldn't find a lot of stuff, considering the people who lived here back in the day probably weren't very well. It is a nice little cabin, though. It's been all fixed up by the current owner. See how the wavy glass is kind of cool, huh? Let's just take a look at some of the things I found. I already put a bunch of stuff in the vehicle, but, you know, the junk. You know, you get a lot of this kind of junk. This is kind of an older piece. It's probably the oldest thing I've found, really. You saw all this stuff, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Looks like I got 3 wheat pennies and 1 modern penny. You got a rivet, and you saw all this stuff. That. Yeah, so kind of peaked, really, but you never know until you go. All right, I hope you enjoyed this little hunt. I'm going to show you something over here in the yard, too. This is where we were metal detecting. You see these big clumps of dirt and stuff. That's not where we dug, though. These are actually moles. This is where moles live. They tunnel under the ground. I'll show you. And they eat grubs and stuff, and they push the dirt up like that. If you look, his tunnel's right there. So he goes around, and he tunnels around. He's looking for grubs and different things that are living in the ground, and he pushes the dirt up and makes a mess. It looks like we made a mess, but it wasn't actually us. I like moles. And moles are really cool because what they do is they aerate the soil. They dig up the soil, they dig these tunnels, they make it nice and soft and fluffy so that when it does rain, the water can percolate down into the ground and not just run off. And it's good for your plants and everything else. Looks a little messy, but, well, that's nature for you. It's not always clean, is it? We'll see you on the next one.
She'll shake the coins from your pocket, take your gold chain and your locket. Mother Earth has no sympathy. She'll take the ring from your hand and bury it in the sand and keep it for eternity. Mother Earth, she's got her secrets she's promised to keep, hidden in her dirt or deep in her creek. Mother Earth, she ain't saying exactly what she's saving, where it is or what